In the vast, sprawling ecosystem of football, new stars are born with every season, their brilliance lighting grand stadiums. Yet, as seasons turn, some stars' light begins to fade from memory. Not because their brilliance dimmed. Our journey begins in the heartlands of Eastern Europe, in the rugged terrain of Romania, which produced a footballer of extraordinary, almost wild genius. His name was Gheorghe Hagi. To watch him play was to witness an artist at the peak of his powers, a force of nature condensed into a 5'8" frame. He was a creator, a maverick, a leader who could single-handedly elevate his pack. Now we turn our gaze to a different kind of predator, not defined by explosive bursts, but by intelligence and enduring power. Seedorf's career, adaptability, and longevity. He conquered the Champions League with 3 clubs: Ajax, Real Madrid, AC Milan. Maybe his greatness was subtle and cerebral, the quiet conductor, not the bombastic soloist. Consistency so profound it was taken for granted. From the established giants, we move to a different kind of story, one of a talent that burned with astonishing, almost violent brightness before vanishing from the firmament. His style was flamboyant, an audacious 43-yard volley for Tottenham against his former club, Arsenal. For a time, he was seen as the natural successor to David Beckham on the right wing for England. But Bentley's tale is a cautionary one. His legacy is that of a spectacular comet that streaked across the sky, leaving us to wonder what might have been. In the intricate ecosystem of a football team, there is a need for every type of character. The Dane was a force of pure, untamed energy, a midfield enforcer with feral commitment. His tenacity at Everton earned him a move that stunned the world, to the Galacticos of Real Madrid. In a habitat of graceful stars, Zidane, Ronaldo, Beckham. Graveson was an anomaly. He was the anti-Galactico. After Madrid, his career wound down away from the brightest lights. He embodied a primal, visceral spirit. Sometimes the best strategy is to be the most ferocious creature in the jungle. The story of a prodigy is one of nature's most compelling narratives. Hailing from the United States, Adu was anointed the next Pele before he could drive. At just 14, he signed with DC United. His early appearances were tantalizing. The trajectory seemed set, an inevitable ascent. But the burden of being a symbol is a crushing weight, especially for a teenager. Across a dozen countries. Talent that needed careful nurturing, instead exposed to harsh elements. In the penalty area, the most dangerous territory on the pitch, there are few predators as lethal as the goal poacher. Our next subject, Davor Suker, was the archetypal poacher, a Croatian striker with a left foot of velvet. Suker's hunting grounds were the top leagues of Spain. He excelled for Sevilla before being recruited by Real Madrid, but his defining moment came during the 1998 World Cup in France. He won the Golden Boot and fired his newly independent nation to 3rd place. Suker's peak, much like Hagi's, came just before the explosion of 24/7 football coverage. The subtle, deadly craft of the pure poacher like Suker has become a somewhat forgotten art form. Sometimes a star emerges with such speed and brilliance that it seems to defy the natural laws of development. Dele Alli was one such phenomenon. He exploded into the Premier League with Tottenham Hotspur as a teenager. He won back-to-back PFA Young Player of the Year awards. He scored stunning goals and became a fixture in the England side. He played with an infectious, joyful arrogance. Yet the decline has been as swift and perplexing as the rise was meteoric. Dele Alli's story is not yet over, but he stands as a stark and very current example of how quickly the footballing climate can change. In the vast plains of European football, some creatures enjoy only a brief, yet glorious reign. For several years at Standard Liège in Belgium, he was the undisputed king of his territory. His performances attracted the attention of Liverpool. The move was heralded as the arrival of a proven champion. His introductory press conference was famously confident, where he declared himself one of the best players in the world. However, the Premier League proved to be an inhospitable new environment. He made only a handful of appearances before moving on. He remains a legend in Belgium, a king in his old domain, but in the wider footballing consciousness, he is a fleeting memory. Every so often, a fledgling makes an appearance so spectacular it captures the imagination of the entire colony. James Wilson was one such fledgling. He scored not once, but twice in his senior debut. For a brief shining moment, he was a bright beacon of hope. But one spectacular debut doesn't guarantee a long reign. A series of debilitating injuries stunted his development, robbing him of the pace and sharpness that had made him so deadly. He was sent out on loans to regain his fitness and form, but the initial spark proved impossible to recapture. James Wilson's story is a poignant one of what could have been. Our final subject is a player whose career path reads like a grand tour of Europe's elite territories, yet his name is often absent from the roll call of midfield generals Christian Poulsen. A Danish defensive midfielder, Poulsen was a highly intelligent player, combative on the ball, a master of the tactical foul. He played for Schalke, Juventus, Sevilla, where he won a UEFA Cup, and Liverpool. He was a Danish Player of the Year and a regular for his country for over a decade. He was the quintessential water carrier, doing the unglamorous but vital work that allows more creative players to flourish. He was a coach's dream, reliable, disciplined, tactically astute. So why is he a forgotten man? Poulsen's role was, by its very nature, one of an unsung hero. He was the foundation upon which cathedrals were built, essential but hidden from view. And so, our journey through the archives of memory comes to a close. We have revisited the thunderous shots of Hagi, the quiet mastery of Seedorf, and the fleeting brilliance of Bentley. Their careers serve as a powerful testament to the diverse forms that greatness can take. The enduring champion, the flawed genius, the tragic prodigy, the unsung hero. Their light may have been obscured by time and the emergence of new stars, but as we have seen, it has never truly been extinguished. Now the story passes to you. Who are the forgotten legends that you hold dear? Which players lit up your childhood, whose names deserve to be spoken with reverence once more? Share their stories in the comments below so that we may all remember them together. And if you wish to join us on more expeditions into the heart of the beautiful game, consider subscribing to the channel so you don't miss our next journey. In the end, football, much like the natural world, is in a state of perpetual change. New heroes will rise, records will be broken, and the spotlight will inevitably move on. But the legacy of these players remains. It lives on in the grainy footage, in the stories passed down from one generation to the next, and in the inspiration they provide for those who dare to dream.